Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with Carlson. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Sorry we were out last week. We were out for the weekend, decided to take the day off. I hope you all had a safe time with family and friends over the Memorial Day weekend. I also hope that you were able to take a moment to remember those who have fallen in the service of this great country we call the United States. We always like to take a moment on Memorial Day to remember them and fly the flag and remember that we have what we have because of those that gave all for us. Thank you again for joining me this morning. And sometimes during the summertime, we might take a few days off. I might actually start recording some of these in advance so they're not live, but still shoot them on Mondays at 8 a.m. Pretty sure we're working right now to finalize switching over to our main platform as YouTube. And maybe Jessica said something about Instagram. I'm not sure about that one, but we'll figure it out. As always, strangely warm coffee. Oh, wait. See if I can do this without knocking it down. Bing! Lights. I love it. Strangely warm coffee. Don't forget to get yours. You can buy it right here downtown Sebring at Legacy Bicycles or now on Amazon.com. You can read my wonderful review since I love it so much. So always give a shout out to them in the morning, trying to wake me up, even though Mr. Andrews called me from right over there, giving me a hard time for not being in as early as him, which he never really gets in as early as me. All right. Shout out to a great business in this community that brings it's definitely one of the largest events in Highlands County, the Heartland Triathlon. That's happening right here in downtown Sebring next weekend. We started that 14 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, has grown and grown and grown. Pandemic year had to be put off because people were canceling lockdowns, shutting, people couldn't travel. So there was no triathlon last year, but already nearing 1,000 participants. If you're not familiar with it, figure out a way to get downtown and watch it. On Saturday morning at 7 a.m., we kick off the children's event, which is always a good time and fun to watch. On Sunday morning at around 7 a.m., we're going to kick off the adult event. And if you are not familiar with triathlon, it's swimming, biking, running. So we start down at Pier Beach, do a swim, get out, get on your bicycle, do the bike course, come back, get your bike off your bike, put your running shoes on, and you run. If you've never watched it, it's a great event. If you've never participated, maybe you come down and check it out this year, and you want to compete next year. Great thing for this community. Brings thousands of people in for the weekend. Commerce is great for the restaurants, hotels, and gas stations. Everyone out there that enjoys the benefit of tourism. That's one of them. I think something maybe if the waterfront idea ever comes around, that might be a great complement to this event and bring more people down to Sebring on a regular basis. All right. Today's topic, let's jump right in 3.5 minutes after we get started. And we're going to talk about Florida. This would be specifically to Florida, but probably hits all other states if you're in another state watching. And we do have a few viewers from other states. The topic of unemployment assistance and fraud and how that impacts you. And there's two ways that you can be impacted by it. The first one is if you're an employer and people are claiming benefits against your company, which actually costs you money because they raise your rate later on. It's not really free or insurance. You still have to pay for it later on. So there's some fraud related to that we'll talk about. And then we're going to talk about something that's actually becoming more and more common is identity theft related to the employees or normal non-employers, and they're getting claims against them. And I'll point you in some directions. The Florida site for they call it reemployment assistance now. I guess unemployment assistance had some sort of a stigma associated with it. It's funny, I heard this on, I think I was listening to CNN in the car the other day, and instead of referring to someone as homeless, they referred to them as affected by homelessness. I'm not really sure the semantics of all that, but I'm sure some English lit major could tell me how one is way more positive than the other because maybe one isn't positive. So let's start off by talking about employers, and there are several ways that you can get benefits claimed against you that aren't legit. One of the more common ones that we see all the time, and this isn't related to anything that's going on right now, but it's just a common thing that happens. The unemployment assistance in Florida looks back 2 years. So if you had 4 jobs over 2 years, every 6 months you switch jobs, and then you get laid off from one, they go back to all of them to look for employment history and charge all of them for that, for the benefits that are getting paid out. It's not, I think it's not right, but anyway, it does happen. So here's what happens when someone leaves your employment. It is very important to always document how they left. The most valuable thing you can get from them, especially if they resign, is a letter of resignation, an email, something saying, I'm voluntarily leaving. Other than that, it's very, very difficult to get the unemployment assistance, the Florida unemployment system to not charge you, the employer, with those benefits that are getting paid out. It sounds crazy. No matter how good your notes are, no matter what steps you took, no matter what remediation you took, the history that I have with them shows that you're probably going to end up losing and charged against you for that benefit. So if someone voluntarily leaves your employment, do whatever you can to document that and try to get something from them in writing. It doesn't matter if it's a text, a voicemail, something that you get from them that says, I'm leaving of my own choice. So a lot of people do that. Some people will quit jobs, walk away, and still file unemployment assistance and claim it. That's kind of hard if you have nothing to back it up or nothing to say that they left. If they left for cause, you should also have very good documentation around that. That is also difficult if you fired them for cause, whether or not the unemployment assistance in Florida is going to pay them. My experience, they did. I was told once, I had an employee that I had tried to remediate several times, sat down with them, made very good notes. I even had them sign a remediation plan, and then continued to find them. And what they were doing is they would come in the morning, clock in, spend an hour having breakfast in the back, then go to their desk, and this person had a pull-out keyboard drawer. The pull-out keyboard drawer actually had a book on it with a keyboard on top, and she was just sitting there reading a book all day. And when I let her go, she claimed unemployment assistance, and they actually paid. I took it all the way to administrative hearing, and they ended up paying her benefits and told me that if I didn't take the step of actually charging her with theft from me, that they were going to pretty much always lean on the side of paying the benefits out, which I think is wrong. I think if you go through the steps to document as if you were trying to avoid some sort of an employment law issue, then you should also not get charged for the unemployment insurance. But sometimes it's up to the person that's on the hearing call. Okay, the other way people are doing it is they're saying they worked for you when they never did. So someone never worked for you. They put you down as an employer at some time in the past, and then you get this claim notice from the Florida Department of Unemployment, and you think, well, I've never had this employee before. Most people, unless you're a really large employer, you know who worked for you and who didn't. So the steps that you need to take when you get notification that someone's claimed unemployment is very serious. You need to follow up on that immediately. You can go right online to, there's a link on the document, the claim for benefits. You can go right on there, go online, hit the link, enter the codes in, and send whatever documentation you have in. Do that as quickly as possible. There is a time limit on it, but you want to make sure you get it in quickly, make sure you get it in properly. And for our clients, we can help you out with that. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily, even submitting that information sometimes takes a while. Right now, they're not responding on a quick basis. So you have to just submit the documentation, keep copies of everything, the dates and times that you sent it, so you have it for your record to try and fight them later. If you ever need to go to the Florida Reemployment website, it's floridajobs.org. There is a link. If you go over to the left-hand side, there's one right there that says fraud and identity theft. So for the employer, there is an online fraud form right on that page that you can click on and see right there. I'm actually going to cut and paste this into the comments section so you can see it if you need to. There's a copy of that. And yeah, me too, Dan. Sorry, I'm on this Florida page, so I'm not watching the live comments come in. So you can go right on there, click that online fraud form and file that. And this has happened to several of our employers over the last 6 months, employees that didn't work for them. employees who left of their own choice and still claim benefits, and they're trying to charge against them. So be on the lookout for that documentation. Please file it, take it seriously, put it in there, and file it as quickly as possible. Now, very quickly, I'm going to go into, I have a few minutes left. I want to go into individuals. I've seen several individual people recently that have either received a 1099 in the mail or received some other documentation in the mail saying that they were claiming unemployment benefits. Those people are currently employed, currently have been employed by the same employer for several years. So if you get something like that, you also have to take immediate steps. You can go to that link, immediate steps to try and get that fixed. My recommendation would be multifaceted. The first thing you want to do is file a police report with the local police department, whatever your local jurisdiction is or whoever handles that. Here, I believe the employees filed it with the sheriff's department because they have an identity theft unit over there, I suppose. So you want to make sure you get that get that done. Then once you get that filed, call the Florida Reemployment Assistance line and let them know that this is not accurate, that this should not be charged against you. Because what's going to happen if they send you a 1099-G, but the money went to someone else, then you might not find out about it until you actually file your tax return in the following year, because the IRS is going to get a copy of that report. You may not have ever received it. So the IRS is then going to send you a letter saying, hey, why didn't you report this income on your tax return? You owe us some money. So you want to try and nip that in the bud as quickly as possible. If you can, get the Florida Department of Revenue to fix the 1099-G, which reported the unemployment benefits, and get that fixed. So file a report with the police department and file a fraud report with the Florida Department of Reemployment Assistance, I guess is what that department's called now. So those are a few tips and tricks. If you find out that you've had some sort of fraud committed against you, jump on the web, get the phone number for the Florida Reemployment Assistance Hotline and report it with your local law enforcement. And if you're an employer, very important that you follow up on those notices from the Florida Department of Revenue. As soon as you get them, put them in so that you can start fighting that battle. Again, I hope this helped. I hope you got a little tidbit of information on ways to help and these are things that are timely that have just come up in the last week or so here at our office. So if this is something that you think has happened to you as a business or an employee, you can give us a call anytime at 863-382-4141. Check us out on the web at carlsonaccounting.com. You can even schedule an appointment for me right there on the webpage, or shoot me an email, Facebook message, whatever it is, whenever you get the chance. We thank you very much for joining us this morning. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. It is getting a little warmer out there. Don't forget the Heartland Triathlon next weekend. It's very important to note that if you need to come downtown and do anything, most of the roads are closed off in the morning, Saturday morning, probably until around 9 or 10, and Sunday morning a little bit later. We normally are done cleaning up and everything out of the way by around 3 o'clock on Sunday, but there are still routes to get around to church. So you can check those road closures out at heartlandtry.com, and maybe Dan can put a link in there to that so that you can see the road closures and how you can get to church on Sunday morning and be least affected. All right. Again, thank you very much for joining me on Coffee with Carlson. Have a fantastic day. We thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next Monday. Still trying to work on that topic. If you have any ideas, please post them over in the comment section so that we can put that on our list, come up with good things to talk about. Thank you very much, and have a fantastic day.